Now let's transport it into Soundtrap. On your menu, you're going to look for this cloud-like symbol with the down arrow on it. Click on that. Oops, click on that. When your drop-down menu comes on, you're going to click on Export to Soundtrap. Give it a few minutes. When your Soundtrap opens up, you will see a clip right here, one loop. This is the loop that you just created. Let's take a closer look at the clip. From the track controls, you're going to go in here and you're going to click on that symbol. It will open up your keyboard below. You're going to click on piano roll this time. Okay, and here's your piano roll beneath. Now I'm going to move the playhead back out of the way, and oops. Now let's make this a little larger. So you're going to go here and zoom in, and let's make this a little bigger. Let me draw this. Also take your loop, your loop control here, and make sure it stays within your loop for now. All right, let's make it bigger. All right, because you're going to be finagling this. All right, so we've made it big. Now remember, this is all one bar. This is one bar. You'll see this here and this here and this here. This is the second beat of the bar, of the first bar, third beat of the fourth bar, last beat or the fourth beat of the first bar. This is where the second bar starts, right here. Okay, so all of this is one bar. These are your notes. Now, if I want to drag the note or move the note, I have to make sure that this is highlighted. If I want to draw another note or create another note, then this would be highlighted, which you'll see in a minute. If I want to change the velocity, meaning how loud or soft the note is, you want to make sure this is highlighted. And if I want to erase the note altogether, you make sure this is highlighted. Now notice when the velocity is selected, it changes the note, the way it looks, the shading, okay? And when I click on this note, for example, if I want to change how loud or soft it is, when I click on it, drag it up or down, notice the note itself doesn't move, but the numbers in that little pop-up goes down. So it's at 127. As I drag down, it changes. 113, 100, 81. Notice it's getting softer in sound. Okay, that's the velocity. Adding or increasing. So you can add notes that way. Let's take that back off. And now here, if I want to drag or change a note, if I want to drag it up and down, meaning I'm going to change it in steps. So this is an A. If I want to make it a B, I simply move it up a step. Okay. So I went from A to B. You'll know it's a B when you click on it and you see the label that tells you it's a B. Okay. Now I'm going to drag it back down. So you notice it goes up in steps. See, that's a B flat. Know the difference. And this is an A. Okay. So now if I want to shorten this note, I can go to the end of this block. Make sure that my mouse changes like this symbol that you see here. And then I can shorten it. Okay. All right. Now, remember, if you do something that you did not want to do, always remember your undo key. Okay. And you can reverse anything that you've done. So let's just go and move out flathead to the beginning and play it. Okay, so you can see it is exactly the same as what we had in flat. Now the loop is on. Now the loop is on, which is showing you that it's a repeated pattern, okay, which is your first ostinato. So it's a bass ostinato. Now you're going to take this ostinato and you're going to copy it. All right. So how do I do that? This is your loop tool right here. Okay, don't go in here. Be careful with these pieces right here. This is what you want your mouse to look like. And I'm going to expand it. Okay, let's go one more full bar, which ends right here at the 3. So you have two bars. Okay, so now let's play it. Let's go back to the beginning with the playhead and let's play it. Oh, I forgot one thing. Make sure that you increase your loop up here. You don't have to take that purple off to do that. You can just drag it. All right, so now I have a 2-measure loop. As I'm working, if I decide that I want to change what this loop sounds like, use the tools that you have here to make those adjustments. So I'm going to make some slight changes to this. Okay. I'm going to drag this up. Now I want my notes to be a little bit lower and a little bit shorter. A little punchy. Okay. And I want this one to start a little later. All right. Now notice every time when I make changes in the very first or the original first bar loop, it will make all the adjustments in however many bars I loop. So at my ostinato, whatever I fix here in my ostinato will fix the whole entire song or the whole entire track. So if you create a song based on one ostinato and you decide you want to change one note, you can change that one note in your ostinato pattern and it will change that note in every bar of your ostinato. Okay, let's go and see what this sounds like. Okay, so now I'm gonna make a little bit more of a change. And this will be a little bit more punchier. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna leave that now as my pattern. And then what I'm going to do now in this track, let's make this a little bit smaller. Remember to keep saving. Save. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go back and make this a little bit smaller. So now I'm going to drag and create my loop. For longer. Now finally, let's take a closer look at this so we can play with the velocity. Let's make it a little bit bigger again. And let's play with the velocity just within this ostinato, the loud and softness. So I move my playhead to the beginning. So now I am going to leave, oh, before I do anything, whoops, let's go to the V symbol because I want to change the velocity. Notice the change in them. So I'm going to make sure that the tip, the very pointy tip of my arrow, for you if you're on a touch screen or if you're on an iPad, you have to use your finger. Now when I touch it and the label comes up, it's at 127. I want it at 127. I want this one a little bit lower. It's at 126. I'm going to bring it down to 80. A little bit lower. Let's get a little bit more dramatic. All right. Between 60, 70, a little lower. This one a little bit louder. This I want at the highest. This I want low. Now listen to the dramatics of this ostinato once you change the velocity of it. Notes are still the same, rhythm is still the same, but it changes the character of the ostinato itself. Okay, so You can play with the velocity to get the kind of sounds that you like, to get the kind of feel that you like. Now, as far as the rhythm, last thing, you can always take off the velocity. I want to drag this around now. So I'm going to use this tool. This will create more notes. This will drag it around. Let's just drag it around. Oops. And notice everything I do here is going to change in everything else. What would this sound like? Okay, so now you're creating something totally different. All right, let's add some more notes. Okay, let's move the playhead back. I want to stay in this, whatever you want to do, you just make sure that your playhead is all the way back so that it'll allow you to put in. So let's add some more notes. All right. Okay, let's see what that sounds like. Okay, so now you're going to go in, just play with it a little bit. Try to come up with a nice beat, rhythm, pattern, tone, because you're going to be using this to build another ostinato on top of, and then also rhythm as well, your beats. Okay, so start with the bass line. All right, keep what you like, take out what you don't, and build on that. Okay, make sure you share. Okay, you're gonna leave it at bass ostinato. Make sure you share it with me. All right, let's see what this sounds like. Okay, all right, there you have it.